Good, happy Tuesday morning, December 11, 2018. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, New Hampshire Democratic Party headquarters evacuated after suspicious package found. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
We were born in New Hampshire in 1850 to help people through the challenges of life. Today,
dressed head to toe in hazmat gear, crews walk out of the New Hampshire Democratic Party headquarters in Concord after a suspicious package was found.
It's just a shame in today's society that these sorts of things are happening more and more frequently.
Party Chairman Ray Buckley says the mail arrived late today, and when a young staffer opened it, he realized something was wrong. It's not clear what was inside, but the building was evacuated, and police say that person was treated for possible exposure as a precaution.
Somebody sends a threat or anything to an elected official, it's not them that answer the mail or answer the phone. It's some young person who just wants to be involved in the civic government.
Buckley says it appears the package was mailed from within the state.
Well, I think it's disappointing that I certainly would believe it's somebody who is not a political activist. It's got to be somebody who, has multiple other issues.
State and federal investigators have been notified as they try to figure out what was sent.
The hope that it is not actually serious for the young people that work in the building. It was a very frightening time.
And the New Hampshire Republican Party is responding tonight, saying it condemns this outrageous act and that it stands with the Democratic Party. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Fighters hurt in backdraft explosion re-entered burning building. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
we were born in New Hampshire in 1850 to help people through the challenges of life. Today,
it was a whoosh that sounded like a freight train.
Zero visibility. Thick black smoke.
You're right next to each other, but you can't see each other.
They could hear the fire.
It was kind of an eerie feeling.
Firefighter Tom DeFina and Captain Pete Frangus are a team. 16 years of working together builds a trust. That connection where they finish each other's sentences. DeFina was on the second floor, searching for the wall with his hand to get oriented. He leaned on a door.
It was that explosion, boom, and it was a giant fireball. There was a lot of screaming at that point, and get out, get out. That fireball didn't go away. Got back up to my knees, and the next thing I know, my working partner pulled me out, and we all went tumbling down the stairs.
Then the Engine 5 crew tumbled down the stairs as well.
From the time I called the Mayday, we were out in 1 minute.
The motto at Manchester Fire is we go in together and we come out together.
We hugged each other and we were happy to be out. We swapped their bottles back out and went back in to help put the fire out.
Monday morning, the charred turnout gear is laid out on the floor.
It's all melted.
And Worcester's tragedy is weighing heavy. There is gratitude here for each other, for the job, and for life itself.
It was a close call.
So the house, we're told, is a total loss, and that is heartbreaking, particularly this time of year. But the only loss here is a structure. And considering the alternative, that feels like a miracle. We're live in Manchester this noon. Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. KKK jingle incident discussed at Dover School Board meeting. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
We were born in New Hampshire in 1850 to help people through the challenges of life.
I saw that video. It was disgusting.
Dozens speak out over controversy sparked by a video of Dover High School students singing about the KKK and killing black people to the tune of Jingle Bells as part of a school project.
My first question was, why isn't the teacher doing something? Why isn't this being stopped?
The teacher is on paid leave. Many admit he made a mistake.
He regrets it more than you could ever imagine. If you take him out of his job as a teacher, you are doing a disservice to this community.
Supporters speaking out, including his two sons.
We've found that we're fundamentally the same, and I know that acceptance and that willingness to learn about others carries over into all aspects of his life. If you spend even a week as a member of the community, you can see the positive impact that my dad has on everyone around him.
The exact terms of the assignment are unclear, but many say racism is a problem that needs to be addressed.
As many say this is not the Dover they know, I find that to be the opposite. I've seen many instances of racism here.
Some are calling for the teacher to be fired. Others see this as a teaching moment.
There are ways to address the nasty stuff in our history. It happened. We have to acknowledge it.
I would hope that we not rip this community apart when there's no need to do so. I hope that brings us together.
Several student-run initiatives have been born from this incident, as students here tonight tell us they want to play an active role in the culture at their school. We're live in Dover tonight. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. £85,000 of food collected during Spirit of Giving food drive. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
We were born in New Hampshire in 1850 to help people through the challenges of life. You've known us as Child and Family Services, but going forward, you'll know us by a different name. Today, we are Waypoint, providing help along the way.
The food pantry at the Salvation Army in Concord gives out roughly 1,000 meals a month to its clients, and that includes one of their volunteers.
Without the food from the food pantry, unfortunately, my family would not be able to eat.
The food bank says 1 in 9 people in New Hampshire is food insecure, making this past weekend's Spirit of Giving food drive that much more important. Places like the Salvation Army will now receive hundreds of pounds of food.
We truly appreciate the generosity for the community and the dedication and the giving that everyone strives to do, not just during the holiday season, but throughout.
Thousands of generous Granite Staters bought and donated food at Shaw's, Hannaford, Walmart, and Common Man locations. In the end, enough for more than 71,000 meals.
Product, once we get it here, will probably be out to our agencies within 24 to 48 hours, so we're hoping that it helps them, get through these cold winter days and months.
Staff at the Salvation Army say they rely on the donations from this drive each year.
The food that comes in from Spirit of Giving is a tremendous blessing because it really sustains us for months.
The New Hampshire Food Bank is also challenging people to donate online. An anonymous donor is prepared to match $100,000.
Just the amount of generosity that comes from this has been astounding.
Now, if you couldn't donate this weekend, don't worry. The Walmart in Manchester will accept food throughout this week. You can also donate to the food bank. Live in studio, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Newmarket poll checker convicted in 2014 incident seeks pardon. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Don't miss this week's WMUR Holiday Specials, brought to you by Dartmouth Hitchcock. Wishing you a happy and healthy holiday season.
Joseph Barton is seeking a pardon for his conviction on a resisting arrest charge stemming from a much-disputed altercation at the Newmarket polls on Election Day 2014. Barton was there as a GOP poll checker, and his challenge of a voter's status led to a discussion with Attorney General's investigator and former Manchester Police Lieutenant Peter Favreau that escalated into Barton being taken to the ground and put in handcuffs.
I did sustain 3 cracked ribs as a result of being beaten by Favreau and the pile-up of 3 or 4 other gentlemen on top of me.
Barton, who claims he did not know he was being arrested, believes he was treated unfairly by Favreau for political reasons.
There was some partisan motivation to his actions, which I think is unfortunate. I know that he has ties to the Obama administration through his cousin, John Favreau, who was the speechwriter for President Obama.
Barton is seeking the pardon to retain his security clearance for work at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard.
So there's a very high standard to meet here. We have to show that there was a miscarriage of justice, that a pardon can accomplish something that an annulment or something else couldn't for the individual.
Barton's supporters say this case is about the freedom of poll checkers to make challenges without fear of reprisal.
If they think they're going to get arrested and harassed by the Attorney General's office for asking a question, we're not going to have poll checkers. They're not going to do the job.
Neither Favreau nor the Newmarket Police Department were on hand today to describe their account of the incident, but the New Hampshire Supreme Court ruled against Barton earlier this year, saying, quote, a rational fact finder could have found beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant understood he was being arrested. Now, the Executive Council is expected to vote on this pardon request December 19th. Reporting live at the State House in Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Durham recommends annual holiday tree lighting continue along with discussion. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin.
We were born in New Hampshire in 1850 to help people through the challenges of life. You've known us as Child and Family Services, but going forward, you'll know us by a different name. Today, we are Waypoint, providing help along the way.
It's a long-standing tradition in town, the annual lighting of what's called the holiday tree in downtown Durham. But controversy has taken root here after a request to add a menorah to the display. A special meeting was held over the holiday tree. People invited to voice their opinions.
I am not the least bit offended by this town tree. What I'm offended with is anybody who wants to mess with it.
All my life, Christmas trees have been associated with Christmas, and Christmas is what other people celebrate, not what I celebrate, because I'm Jewish.
The town administrator says the holiday tree is not a Christmas tree, does not violate separation of church and state, and recommends the annual lighting continue. A menorah was not allowed next to the tree, citing vandalism concerns, but was lit nearby. Now people living here are asking if there are ways to be more inclusive and still honor tradition.
If we invited other people to the lighting of the menorah, to the singing of Hanukkah songs, that would not make the Hanukkah lighting and, quote, inclusive community event. It would still be my people's celebration.
The Christmas tree in downtown Durham has been a Christmas tree for the town of Durham, the people that live here and their children.
The controversy over the holiday tree will go on long past the holiday season. Town leaders say they're willing to discuss this for the next year. In Durham, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Former Fed Chair Yellen says excessive corporate debt could prolong a downturn. Former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen is worried about excessive leverage leading in the level of corporate debt across Wall Street. Five Marines missing off coast of Japan declared dead. Five Marines off the coast of Japan for nearly a week following an active mishap have been declared dead by the U.S. Marine Corps. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.